Juicy fruit is gonna move ya. I don't know why. That's been stuck in my head all morning. And now we talked about gum. The taste is gonna move ya. Brandon Walker, more Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast, presented by SEC Country, coming to you from the SEC Country studios here in beautiful. And finally, it is beautiful outside. Beautiful Dunwoody, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia. We're on 285 North out here by Perimeter Mall. Having a good time. That's where we are, right?
Yeah.
Having a good time up here. So, Brandon Walker, more Cowbell. Let's see who we got here this morning. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald. We're going to talk about – my computer doesn't want to give me where I'm going. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald and football. We're going to talk about basketball, NIT, maybe another coaching hire in the state today. That's going to affect Mississippi State down the road. My collar is just going crazy. Brandon Walker, more Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Eric Wiggins checking in from Columbus. Drew Newell says happy Pi Day. Very disappointed.
I didn't even realize it's Pi Day.
Yeah, 3/14. I'm disappointed we have we celebrate Pi Day on 3/14, but we don't celebrate an actual Pi Day, like pecan pie or.
Well, it is. People eat pie probably on this day more than any other day.
Really?
I would think so.
Or is there free pie anywhere? I would like some free pie.
I don't know.
Some pecan pie.
Go make some.
No, pies take too much effort. I cook at home, but I've never made a
baker.
I've never baked. I've never made a cook or a cake.
Easier.
I never made a cake or a pie. I think baking's harder, isn't it?
No, you just put it all in a little thing and put it in the oven. Done.
Yeah, but you have to be exact with your measurements in baking.
Yeah.
And I'm not exact with anything.
It's like one scoop of this, boop.
Nope.
Some eggs.
Just give me some fire and some meat, and I call myself cooking.
That's grilling. That's not cooking.
We'll have the 2-minute drill later. We have some very interesting 2-minute drill questions. We're getting towards the bottom of the lake here on the 2-minute drill, and I don't know how much longer the 2-minute drill can continue right now because we are definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel. Your Pie, a pizza place in Gluckstadt, is selling pizzas for $3.14 today. Isn't there a Your Pie right here?
There is.
It's right over.
Literally right there.
Yeah, right over.
Right there.
Sure.
Probably see through that window.
Yeah, right over there. It's right by the Outback.
Well, right by the Chipotle.
Right by the Chipotle, yeah. What is your trademark dish you cook, and why didn't you cook in Stark Vegas? Well, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago when we lived in Starkville. Remember that time you cooked tacos and our other roommate ate all of them before I got home from work? Still mad about that. My signature dish, well, I like to grill steaks and hamburgers. Lasagna, I do a chicken pasta that's pretty good. I haven't really cooked anything new in a while, though.
Whenever I cook, I literally make the same meal.
What is it? Spaghetti?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
It's my secondary, but it's like a diced chicken with a little lemon pepper fajita seasoning, sautéed with some red and green peppers. That's all I eat.
Papa Murphy's taking baked pies or 3/14 today also. You ever had Papa Murphy? You know what that is?
Nope.
Papa Murphy is where you go through the line like a Subway line, and they put all the ingredients on the pizza.
Like a blaze?
And they don't cook it. They just put it in a box, give it to you. You go home, put it in the oven, cook it yourself.
What's the point of that?
You look very confused.
Yeah, why would one want
Well, because you can take it home and cook it yourself. Like if you want pizza tonight and you're
cheaper than getting it
a little cheaper, yeah.
I guess that makes somewhat sense.
Speaking of grilling, my girlfriend told me that Californians say they are barbecuing when they're grilling things like hot dogs on the grill. What's wrong with those people? Well, if we're talking about Californians, I mean, there's a laundry list of things wrong with people from California.
Is that not barbecuing? Isn't anything on the grill like barbecue?
No, it's grilling. It's grilling.
But I feel like the
barbecue is a certain type of food that you make on the grill.
I feel like a barbecue is more like I'm having people at my house in the backyard.
Yeah, it can also be the event itself.
I
it can be the event itself, yeah. Hail State from Ashland, Mississippi. Bobby Strickland. Hello, Brian Faulkner, who now says he has to leave and go get something to eat. Well, hello and goodbye, Brian Faulkner. Good to have you here. Static noises from microphone. Well, we're not going to freak out over some microphone noises. We're going to be okay. So we'll get that fixed. Hail State from Stark Vegas. More Cowbell time. Sorry I'm late. D. Curtis. Hello. Arnaldo Camarena. Haven't seen him. Hail State from Stark Vegas. Hello, Arnaldo. Excuse me. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald today, Mississippi State's quarterback. The SEC Network had their quarterback rankings, or they were just talking offhand about quarterbacks, and ranked him the 7th best returning quarterback in the SEC. Ranked him the 7th best returning quarterback in the SEC. That is, well, that's just god awful. That's what that is. That's terrible. That's not good at all. Don't agree with that list. Got my own list. Got my own list today, and we'll talk about it. Scott H. Chilton says barbecue has never included hot dogs. Agreed. That's you grill hot dogs. You don't barbecue hot dog. Tim Doss will be grilling burgers tonight, not barbecuing. Hail State from Marietta. Now I'm hungry too. Hail State from Asheville, North Carolina. Boy, Asheville might be the best little town in the South. Asheville's a heck of a town. Beautiful place. Brian Sisk, what's up? Marietta, and have I asked this before? I'm pretty sure that's Marietta, Georgia, not far from here. I go through Marietta, Georgia on my way to work every single day on I-75. It's
probably go right by my house.
It's just awful.
What do you go, 75 and 285?
Yeah.
I live right there, that intersection.
Isn't that where the stadium is?
Yeah, that's really where
you live in the stadium?
No, I live like a minute away from it.
Do the Braves know that?
Yeah. Give me free tickets.
Do you live in that side of the intersection, or you live on the other side?
Other side. If you're going down 75, it's past to the right.
So I come through Powers Ferry Road sometimes. You live around in there?
I live on, like, next to the Cobb, the Cobb Galleria.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a walking distance right next to it.
How about that? Sounds expensive.
It's not that bad.
Me, I live halfway to Tennessee. I can't afford to live down here. Hail State from the hospital. What's going on, Shannon Davis? Everything good? Hail State from Chattanooga says Jason Collins. Hail State from the Delta says Zane Hodge. Headed to the Meat Boss in Mobile, says Brian Johns. I do not know what the Meat Boss is, but I want to eat there. You had me at Meat Boss. I was sold. You did not have to go any further. I was ready to eat. Marietta, Georgia. Good to have Marietta. Home of, let's see.
Marietta.
Yeah, no, there are a lot
where Avalon is?
A lot of professional wrestlers from Marietta. I believe the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, lived there. Buff Bagwell's from there. Hail State, go Dogs from West Point. Oh, Jenny Doty. Well, good to have you. West Point. I've heard West Point is a great town that produces great people. I've heard West Point is probably produces the best people in Mississippi, if I had to guess. How much does brand bias or lack thereof play into State not getting the respect it deserves? Latest case in point, the ranking you just mentioned regarding Nick. Ron McMichael, I don't think it's that as much as it's just the people on TV don't know as much and aren't as prepared as you want them to be. That's all I think it is. And in this case, it was Peter Burns, who is a friend of Mississippi State and is great. I just think this was not a good ranking, though. This was not a good ranking. Go Dogs from Asheboro, North Carolina. Oh, we're at 11:54, guys. What are we doing? You just let me out here just go on forever? Huh?
Having fun.
I'm having a good time. All right. We got to do a show, though. We're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald. It's going to be a short show anyway, so it should be good. Going to be Nick Fitzgerald today, talking about that quarterback ranking. Then we'll talk about, I forgot to bring my MyBookie sheet in here. Anybody got my MyBookie sheet?
Where is it?
It's on my desk. I printed 10 of them off.
Can I keep one?
Yeah. You need one too?
Yeah.
This is very good TV right here.
Let's just
Very good TV. Checking in from Horn Lake, Hail State from Liberty, Mississippi. Marietta, home of Julia Roberts. Is Julia Roberts from Marietta? I didn't realize that. Do you know who's from Dunwoody?
No.
Dunwoody, Georgia, right here?
Who?
Ryan Seacrest. That's not great.
No,
it's not great.
Not a great brag there.
Cartersville, Georgia, where I live right now. The guy who plays Newman on Seinfeld and Cletus T. Judd.
Don't know who those people are, but yeah, cool.
Hail State from Dubai. Chili's quesadillas coming my way. That sounds delicious. Hail State from Jacksonville, Florida. Hail State from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. Thank you very much.
Don't forget the bell today.
Thank you very much. All right, you ready?
When she sits down, yeah.
When she sits down. Landshark sitting down, probably the most exciting thing that's ever happened on this show, and she's sitting down. Yes. What a way to start the show. Nick Fitzgerald, basketball, women's basketball, 2-minute drill. That's our show today. Going to be fun. Going to get to it. Going to have a lot of excitement on the show. I am ready to do a show.
The More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast with Brandon Walker, presented by SEC Country. Boy, did I botch that. That's me, Brandon Walker, on More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. I have a bone to pick with you, Terp. Yesterday, when I rang that twice, you muted the second one.
I did.
Why did you do that?
It's loud.
Well, it's loud, but it's a noise.
I didn't mean to mute it totally. I meant to just duck it, which I did today. I ducked it, but I saw levels go.
You ducked it?
Yeah. Well, it was the right noise, because usually it's a lot louder than your voice, so it peaks and it's really loud. But I did it nice today.
All right. Fair enough. Don't ever do that again. Don't.
Well, if you do it twice, I might.
Okay.
You get one per day.
My name is Brandon Walker, and you are listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Thank you for listening. You can also join us on Facebook Live every single day at 10:45 Central Time. Right now, we have 132 people watching us from somewhere in Mississippi or Georgia or Dubai or Alaska. I am nationwide. I've got people all over the place watching right now. You could be part of that. On today's show, we're going to talk about Nick Fitzgerald, the quarterback from Mississippi State. He is, I don't know how much respect he'll get in the preseason SEC media days or whatever they call it. I don't know how much respect he'll get because of that injury. I think he is the best returning SEC quarterback. That's what I believe. I feel like we have got the guy, and that injury notwithstanding, I think he is poised to have a huge senior season. SEC Network had a recent quarterback ranking that believes otherwise. We'll talk about that. The NIT begins tonight for Mississippi State and Nebraska in the hump. We'll talk about that. Women's basketball has sold out already. Unbelievable. It continues to roll. 6 games left in this season, hopefully. And if those are 6 wins, Mississippi State wins the national title. The 2-minute drill at the end of the show. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, the 2-minute drill questions are just getting weird. They're just getting weird, and we have got some definite weird questions today. First, let me go ahead and tell you, it's time to talk to you about the boatload of money you can make this March by betting at MyBookie. March Madness is here. The tournament starts in full tomorrow. You'll watch it. I'll watch it. We'll have a good time. If you haven't checked MyBookie out, this is the perfect time to get into the action, lay down some money, and score big on college hoops. Join me and thousands of other players and start betting at MyBookie.ag. Come join MyBookie.ag today. I would only recommend a service to you that's been good to me and our listeners. That's why I urge you to make your way to MyBookie. Join now, and MyBookie will match your first deposit with up to a 50% bonus. You can even enter for a chance to win their $1 Million Bracket Challenge, which I've already done. Use your promo code Cowbell. That's Cowbell for my show, More Cowbell. Visit MyBookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid. Now, the SEC Network was talking quarterbacks the other day. That's what they do, right? They talk about SEC players, they talk about SEC positions, and they were talking quarterbacks. Peter Burns, an ESPN guy who does the SEC Network stuff too, was crossing over, and he was talking quarterbacks, and he gave his top 7 quarterbacks in the SEC. Now, let me say, before I dive into this and tear this thing apart, because I'm going to do that Peter Burns is a friend of Mississippi State. Peter Burns is a national media guy that has always shown the utmost respect to Mississippi State. He's always shown the utmost respect to Starkville on Twitter, on his shows. He has time and time again proven himself to be very unbiased and somebody who likes what is happening in Starkville and somebody who's been very, very fair to those in Starkville. Now, not all media members have been like that, have been as open about going to Starkville, enjoying themselves, but this guy has been on Team Mississippi State. I like Peter Burns. I hate this list. This list is awful. So he was talking about the top 7 quarterbacks in the SEC for 2018. His list. Number 1, Jared Stidham from Auburn. Okay. All right. I'm okay. I'm going to have, when I do my list in a minute, Fitzgerald number 1, but I understand. Stidham had a good year. Still got a couple years left at Auburn. He's a good quarterback. Number 2 on Peter Burns' list, Drew Lock. Okay. All right. I would personally take Nick Fitzgerald, but I see where you're coming from. Drew Lock has had a nice career at Mizzou, has another year left, is going to put up big numbers. He's a very good quarterback. Okay. I'm fine with that. And now the cheese starts to slide off the cracker. Now things start going haywire. Number 3's got Jake Fromm, Georgia. No. Listen, Jake Fromm, good player, good quarterback, but all he was asked to do as a freshman was not be terrible. And that's all he's accomplished. He was not terrible. He held the car in the middle of the road while all that remarkable talent around him defensively and offensively in the backfield helped Georgia play for a national title. Jake Fromm was everything you could ask out of a freshman. But is Jake Fromm one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the SEC? He's not. He is not. I just don't see it. Now, could they win a national title with Jake Fromm? Yeah, they probably could. But they're not going to do it this year in 2018. They're going to reload, let this incredible freshman class get a year under their belt, and they'll be a national title contender in 19. I just don't think they are in 18. Number 4 on Peter Burns' list was Jake Bentley. As average as can be. Why Jake Bentley is treated as one of the SEC's best quarterbacks is a mystery to me. Just as completely average as average can get over there at South Carolina. South Carolina, not a good team, played in the East, so they have a sparkling record. Had the same record as State this year. State would have beat South Carolina by 30. By 30. Number 5 on Peter Burns' list, Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama. Now, you could say he's only played a quarter, really, of meaningful football, or two quarters of meaningful football, and that's right. But this guy's legit. He's legit. He's going to be something else. He's going to be a very good quarterback. So I don't have a problem with Tua being high on the list. I don't think if you're getting all in on the Tua train, he doesn't need to be behind Fromm and Bentley. But Fitzgerald doesn't need to be behind any of these guys. Fitzgerald is a proven all-SEC quarterback. He has proven he can rush for 1,000 yards, 1,300 yards. He can rush for 15 touchdowns. He can provide what you need in the air. Now he's going to have receivers. Let me just finish Peter Burns' list. Jalen Hurts, number 6. That's awful. You're telling me Alabama has 2 quarterbacks more valuable than Nick Fitzgerald? Are you telling me that? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And why even have Jalen Hurts on there? Because you've already told me Tua is better. You've already got Tua on the list. So you're telling me Jalen Hurts isn't going to be an SEC quarterback in 2018. He's not going to be an SEC starting quarterback. To Peter Burns' credit on SEC Network, he said a lot of this, or this is pretty much all based on Fitzgerald's injury, the uncertainty. I don't know if he'll be back at 100%. I don't know what he'll be in 2018. But I can tell you this, 50% of Nick Fitzgerald would be better than 0% of Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts ain't going to play. He's not going to play. 75% of Nick Fitzgerald is better than all of Jake Bentley. 90% of Nick Fitzgerald is better than Jake Fromm. 100% of Nick Fitzgerald is the best quarterback in the SEC in 2018. That is what he is. That is what he is. My ranking, I've got Fitzgerald number 1. I don't care. Call me a homer, call me whatever you want. 6'5", 230, can run. If he's 80% of the running threat he was, that's enough. I think that the running game under Moorhead will not be so much, we're going to pound you on 3rd and 3 with our quarterback. It'll be more, we're going to get you going that way, and our quarterback's going to go that way. He's not going to get hit as often and as hard as he got hit under Mullen. He's going to be running in a smarter system. So I think Fitzgerald, even if he's not 100% of what he was with his legs, will still be very, very dangerous on the ground. And now, under Moorhead, they're going to throw the ball down the field anymore, and now you don't have Sunbelt wide receivers out there. You don't have a bad wide receiver core. You've got young wide receivers that need to be good, and knock on wood, hopefully they are. But you definitely have more talent at that wide receiver position. You can't judge Nick Fitzgerald's arm on what happened in 2017. I have no idea what year it is. You can't judge his arm on what happened. Because when you're throwing for 5'9" receivers that never get open, that can't catch the ball, you're not going to look very good. I got Fitzgerald number 1, Stidham number 2, Locke number 3. I got Tua number 4. I think Tua could possibly pass. Tua could pass all of them. And we got it on the screen right now, but Nick Fitzgerald, to his credit, went on Twitter. And let's see, how many emojis is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Math is hard. I think that's 9 laughing emojis, or the crying emoji because you're laughing so hard. 9 laughing, crying emojis when Peter Burns says the argument he and Marcus Spears were having on SEC this morning. If you're drafting quarterbacks for next season, what's the list? That's where Fitzgerald was number 7, and Fitzgerald went to Twitter and laughed heartily about it. And I would too. Because it's hilarious. It's also wrong. Finishing my list, I got Fromm number 5. I do like Fromm. I just don't think he's on his own. Let's just say, if you dropped Fromm into Kentucky, I don't think he's a needle mover. I think he did what he had to do at Georgia, to his credit. Number 6, I got Jordan Ta'amu. I don't want to be the guy that likes Ole Miss, but that guy can play. He's better than Jake Bentley. Number 7, I got Bentley. So I don't want to hate on Peter Burns. I just want to hate on that list. That's what I want to do. And it got me to thinking, and I'll do a full topic on this later. Where does Mississippi State stand in the SEC at quarterback? I think we're top 3 in the SEC at quarterback. You can't really argue anything other than that. Where does Mississippi State stand with the running back position in the SEC? I think we're top 3. Alabama, it's not going to be a deep running back class in the SEC this year. I think we're top 3 with Ayers Williams and Colin Hill. Where do we stand in offensive line? Top 3 to 5. We were very, very good in the offensive line in the SEC in 2017. We were one of the 3 best offensive lines in the league in 17, and we're going to be better in 18. I think we're top 3 in offensive line. Where does Mississippi State's defensive line rank in the SEC? I think it's number 1. Jeffrey Simmons, Montez Sweat, you're adding Chauncey Rivers, you got Gary Green, you got Corey Thomas. You got a 2 deep of ridiculously talented players that will be in the NFL. It's the best defensive line we've had in years. I think it's the best in the SEC. Linebacker, I think, is top 5 or 6 in the SEC. I don't think it's in the top 3, but I think linebacker is very, very good for Mississippi State. Now, the problems you have, wide receiver, it's in the bottom half of the conference. DB, probably middle of the pack. I don't think it's in the bottom. I don't think it's in the top, but it has some talent that could break through. It has talent that could break through, but if you look at that, how do you not get excited over this season? I would do that breakdown on the show later and rank where Mississippi State really ranks in all of these categories. But just looking on the surface, you have to feel good about where you rank at quarterback. You have to feel good about where you rank at running back. You have to feel good about where you rank at offensive line. And you have to feel exceptionally good about where you rank at defensive line. There's not a better defensive line in the SEC than Mississippi State this year. There might not be a better defensive line in the country outside of Clemson, who somehow tricked first-round talent into coming back. Well, I didn't say they tricked them, but somehow got first-round talent to come back. Speaking of first round, the first round of the NIT is tonight at Mississippi State in the NIT against Nebraska. It's the NIT. You know, if we win it, we don't throw a parade. We don't have a huge party. But we feel good going into next year, don't we? We feel really good going into next year. I'm already going to feel good going into next year. I like this team. I like where they're at. But Mississippi State plays Nebraska tonight. Got to win it. I don't want to end this season with a loss at home to Nebraska. I just don't. We played them in an exhibition game before the season. That Mississippi State team is not this Mississippi State team. Nebraska did not beat this Mississippi State team. It's different. I mean, that team had Schneider Herard starting. This team doesn't have Schneider Herard. He's off to Maryland, unfortunately for him. That Mississippi State team was led by E.J. Datcher. This team's not going to be. That team played Keyshawn Fazell the most minutes of anybody that night. This team is not going to see that. That team had a Lamar Peters that didn't play very well. This team has Lamar Peters who's playing very well. Peters has improved. Anytime Peters gets stronger, you're better for it. Abdul Adu did not play in that game. So Nebraska won 76-72 in exhibition season, but they didn't play this team. I think State's going to win this game. I think State's a better team than Nebraska. I think State's going to win and then go play Baylor this weekend. We'll see. I hope I'm right. Don't want to lose, and I don't want to end it with a thud against Nebraska. But I feel good. Basketball, before I get off of this, let's talk Kermit Davis. Ole Miss has hired Kermit Davis, or has reached an agreement to hire Kermit Davis, the Middle Tennessee coach, Middle Tennessee State, who's made a couple dances there, done pretty well at Middle Tennessee State, never been given an opportunity at a bigger place. Now he has that opportunity at Ole Miss. I'm not going to talk bad about Kermit Davis because he is now the Ole Miss head coach. I'm not going to do it. Mississippi State alum, his dad coached here. Will not talk bad about Kermit Davis. Didn't really always feel comfortable talking bad about Andy Kennedy. I mean, that's a stand-up guy. Now, isn't it amazing how likable he's gotten since he got out of Oxford? Funny how that works, isn't it? But I'll say this about Kermit Davis. Ole Miss has hired the Middle Tennessee State head coach. Right now, the SEC is in a basketball renaissance, a mini renaissance of sorts. 8 teams in the NCAA tournament, the most ever. The most ever. And teams are getting better. Mississippi State, not in the tournament, but getting better. Auburn won the SEC this year. Tennessee won the SEC this year. But in recent years, the SEC has gotten serious about basketball, and they made big-time hires, and these teams have gone to the big time. They have shot high. They have aimed very high to get their coaches. Mississippi State got Ben Howland. Auburn got Bruce Pearl. South Carolina started it by getting Frank Martin a couple of years ago. Tennessee got Rick Barnes. Bama went to the NBA and got Avery Johnson. These teams are serious about basketball. And this is a different hire. Ole Miss went small time. Ole Miss went smaller. They didn't go big. Now, it might work. Kermit Davis might work. Not going to say anything bad about him. But with all the SEC going big, 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 Ole Miss has decided to go small. I feel good about having Ben Howland over the next couple of years at Mississippi State coaching our basketball team. Women's basketball, number 1 seed, Mississippi State has already sold out the Humphrey Coliseum for this week. If you want to go, you better have a ticket because there's not any left. Unbelievable. This feels like a celebration of Mississippi State women's basketball. It's all been building to this. This is our shot. This is our shot for a national title. And I wish I could be there with you this weekend as we play Syracuse or Oklahoma State in the second round, as we play Nichols in the first round. Very excited to see what happens. But selling out before anybody else, Connecticut hasn't even sold out yet. UConn has not sold out. Mississippi State sold out the entire weekend. Just shows you give us a winner, we're going to give you unrivaled support. We're not going to give you halfway support. We're not going to give you, oh, yay, I like them, but I don't like women's basketball. No, you give us a winner, we will get behind you 110%. God, I love who we are as Mississippi State fans. I love Mississippi State a lot. I don't know if you guys can tell that on the show. 2-minute drill. Very simple. Number 1, on this Mississippi State men's basketball team, who is the best player? Who's the best player? Who do you think is the best player on this Mississippi State men's basketball team? That is my question. Could be Lamar Peters, who has certainly played much better in the second half of the season, been very important. Could be Q Weatherspoon. Could be the other Weatherspoon, Nick Weatherspoon, who I think is going to be. I think he's a lot like Kylan Hill. He's probably the most talented guy we got, but he's just a freshman. Somebody says Peter. Somebody says Nick. Another guy says Nick. Lewis Williamson says he loves Peters. Lamar Peters, Mark West. So it's Peters or Nick Weatherspoon. Lamar or Q says Timothy Giles. I think it's one of those three. Nick says Danielle Whelan-Gauld. Lane Davis says Peters. Brian John says Q. Nick Weatherspoon has the most upside. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Number 2, as we scrape the bottom of the barrel here on this 2-minute drill. Actually, this one isn't that bad. I don't get into rock music really, but who's the greatest rock band of all time? Who is the greatest rock band of all time? You can answer that however you like. It can be in your era. If you're in the 90s, it can be an alternative band. It could be, the 60s. It could be whatever you want it to be. Who is the greatest rock band of all time? Terp doesn't listen to rock music, so he is tuning me out right now. He doesn't care. Eric Wiggins says Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Jason Nichols says Led Zeppelin. Lewis Williamson says Florida Georgia Line. Can somebody mute Lewis Williamson? Rush says Adrian Page. Beatles says Joy Dees. Led Zeppelin. Ben Clayton and Candy Solis Williams. Leonard Skinner says Pamela Hilliard. Boy, that kind of rhymed. Wendy Schultz Franklin says Bon Jovi. Somebody said Van Halen. Somebody says Queen, Joey Fortner. Jeremiah Body says Three Doors Down. Led Zeppelin, Van Halen. Aerosmith says Bonnie Williamson Gable. Bonnie always gets the last word. You guys know that. Queen and the Beatles. Actually, I lied. Metallica said somebody. Number 3. There you go, Terp. Get back in the show. What's the best sandwich? Wow, what a question. Mine's blown right now. There's so many sandwiches in the world. There's gigantic sandwiches you have to squish down like this to eat. Then there's sandwiches you're just at home. You throw some ham and cheese, put it on the stove, whatever. What is the best sandwich? God, I love this question so much.
Are burgers considered sandwiches?
Not for this exercise, no.
Okay.
I think sandwiches are underrated. They're the perfect lunch food. Perfect lunch
They're
food.
pretty good.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. I know what my favorite sandwich is. Terp, what's your favorite sandwich?
I think a nice grilled chicken with some American cheese, melted
nice.
American cheese, some bacon, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise.
Right, let me get to some of these. Eric Wiggins says Reuben. Fried bologna, says Lewis Williamson. Ham and turkey. Fried bologna is delicious. I'm not going to hate on that. Ham and turkey with cheese, Robert F. Johnson. Italian BMT, Tim Doss. Homegrown tomato and white bread, says Butch Bailey. That's country as country gets. Trust me. I'll tell you about homemade tomato sandwiches in a minute. Sub, meatball sub, pulled pork or brisket, fried bologna. Again, okay, Lewis, I read it. Grilled chicken, says Ginger Tuck. Louisiana po' boy. Oh, shrimp po' boy. That's hard to beat. This is going fast and furious. Grilled cheese. Reuben, tomato and mayo, PB&J. My homemade chicken salad, peanut butter and jelly, fried green tomato sandwich, grilled ham and cheese. BLT, leftover Thanksgiving turkey sandwich, muffaletta or Reuben, fried bologna with scrambled eggs and cheese. Good Lord. Alligator po' boy, Philly steak, muffaletta, and French dip. Boy, some good sandwiches in this world. I like a Reuben. Reuben is my favorite sandwich. I love a Reuben. Shrimp po' boy is something else. That's pretty good too.
We're having a debate in the studio. Is a Philly cheesesteak a sandwich?
It absolutely is.
I say no.
Why isn't it? It's a sub sandwich.
I think I define a sandwich as a food item that has 2 slices of bread on top of each other, not one hoagie that's been semi-cut. Sandwich is two individual breads on top of each other.
I don't. Shut up. Shut up. A Philly cheesesteak is absolutely.
I don't know what to call it, but I don't see it as a sandwich. Otherwise, that would win my sandwich.
Augusta would tell you pimento and cheese. Let me tell you about homemade tomato sandwiches, okay? Everybody in Mississippi grows tomatoes in their garden. That's what they grow. That's the state bird of Mississippi is tomatoes. Everybody grows a tomato garden in their backyard. Just how it is. And everybody's dad or granddad eats tomato sandwiches. That means at lunch, he'll take his butt over to the chop block. He'll take out a tomato that's been picked out of the garden. They're all sitting on a table in their carport. Okay. He'll go get one of those tomatoes. He'll cut the tomato in about 3 or 4 slices. He'll take some white bread. He'll slather some mayonnaise on it, put the tomatoes on the white bread, close it up. He's got a sandwich. That's disgusting.
That sounds great to me.
You like tomatoes?
I've had tomato and mayo sandwiches.
Everybody in here right now is thinking, oh, yeah, tomato sandwiches.
Well, I want one now.
Did I not just tell you about the tomato sandwich? I mean, that is as Mississippi as Mississippi gets. There's nothing more Mississippi than tomato sandwiches on a summer day. Number 4, if you had to live somewhere in Mississippi other than where you live now, where would it be? Turn her mic off.
My mic was down, so no one heard that.
Good.
But you.
Good. Well, I heard her, and I don't want to hear that ever again. Mark West says, I literally just described my granddad. Or, yeah, your granddad. Yeah, I know. That's my granddad, too. Fried bologna's delicious. Fried bologna's fantastic. Gulf Coast says Sinbad. Starkville says Scott Carr. Madison says Eric Wiggins. Madison's a nice place.
It's the best beach town.
I'm sorry. Do you have a show?
Yeah.
Is this your show now?
It's more terp.
Or is this my show?
More terp.
Nobody wants more
no,
terp.
I'm asking you because I have to answer the question, but I don't know any.
Oh, down there? Well, they're all the same.
Gulfport?
Biloxi and Gulfport, they're all the same. It's all one town.
I like Gulfport. Their picture is palm trees.
Stark Vegas, the coast, Natchez, Rolling Fork. Close to Biloxi, close to the mountains of Tennessee. I'd live on the coast somewhere, or Starkville. No mayo, but yes to tomato sandwich. Number 5, and here's where we just get weird on the show. If you could only have one kitchen appliance for the rest of your life. If you could only have one kitchen appliance, and you got to think about this, okay? You got to think about this. If you only have one kitchen appliance for the rest of your life, that's one, all right? What do you think? Now, a lot of people are going to say something, but it's wrong. It's wrong. So, and I've just been schooled on this myself, so I'm going to give you the expert answer that I've received from somebody else. I haven't thought about it very much.
I just thought I would do I would say stove, but then you have nothing to cook on. Like I would have a stove.
What do you mean you have nothing to cook
on? I don't have any pans. If I don't have any other.
Well, that's not an appliance. Pans, you got pans.
Oh, then
appliance, you're talking about microwave, refrigerator, dishwasher, stove.
I didn't think about the fridge.
Yeah, but if
I'll go stove.
The answer is stove.
That's my answer.
That way you can heat up the food. Because you can go to a grocery store and take your little cooler with ice and get you some meat or whatever for that day. You just have to go on a day-by-day basis. All right, fridge, microwave, toaster oven, coffee maker, refrigerator, fridge, microwave. You uncultured people. You gotta have a stove, not a fridge, not a microwave. Where are you gonna keep the frozen pizza? Where are you gonna keep the stuff you put in the microwave? I think the answer is stove. Somebody said can opener, which isn't the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Although when you open the cans, what are you gonna do with them?
Eat them.
Just
dump it out.
I can cook on a grill. That's not a bad. If you had a refrigerator and you cooked on the grill, but what if it was 11 degrees outside? What if it's 111 degrees outside? Then you die. Then you die.
Get a good meal though.
Somebody does. When the fire department gets there to get your body, they find a perfectly cooked brisket. Open fire is free. You buy it and bring it home. You just said that. You can cook on a grill. Oh, what a question. I think it's stove.
You could always make fire, though, outside, and then put a pan over it.
If you can only afford to buy one kitchen appliance, you probably don't know how to make fire.
I didn't think it was a 4. I thought it was I can only have one.
It's a weird.
Because then you can start talking price.
Yeah. Dan Glenn lives in Central Florida. It's never 11 degrees. Yeah, but it rains every day. It rains every single day down there. And the lightning in Florida is awful. You ever been to Florida and had in a lightning storm? The lightning comes from like 15 feet above your head. It's awful. It's terrible. Cool. All right. Good show today. Not really. We got through it. On the podcast, my name is Brandon Walker. Thanks for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. You can join our Facebook Live at 10:45 Central if you'd like. If not, come back on the podcast. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State Podcast, presented by SECCountry.com. Well, this is kind of heated. I don't know. It's I could see arguments for a refrigerator. If you have a refrigerator and you have presumably you have a freezer up top, so then you can have all that, and then you just grill all your food. But you're going to grill all your food? You're going to grill breakfast? Are you going to grill breakfast?
Yeah.
You are. You're going to grill 3 meals a day.
On the grill.
You're going to grill 3 meals a day.
Sure.
Bacon on the grill? Do you understand the logistics of cooking bacon on a grill?
Why? I mean, put some tin foil down, throw it on, boom, flip it.
We can still see you. I know you can see me. What did I do? I didn't pick my nose, did I?
I wasn't watching.
I scratched it. Yeah.
Yep, you're on TV.
Every day. Every day. Gas grill, no problem. Cast iron skillet on the grill for breakfast. Well, your charcoal bill is going to be out of this world. Confidence level in the guys winning the NIT and the women winning it all. I have more confidence the women to win it all than I do in the guys winning the NIT. I don't have much confidence in the men winning the NIT. I would say I have, what are our chances to win the women's tournament? 30% maybe. I think it's us or UConn. And beating UConn twice would be hard, but I do feel like there's a chance. I think there's a great opportunity for Mississippi State to win the women's title. I don't think there's much of a chance to win the NIT title.
It's going to be a great show after Maryland takes out Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Can't wait for that one.
That'll be the first show without Terp.
Actually, I don't think I'll be here for that. I'm out next week if you didn't know that.
You're out next week?
Mm-hmm.
Said who?
Said me.
Nobody told me that.
Oh, well, I'm out all next week.
Breakfast, bacon, lunch, grilled chicken, dinner, steak. Lane Davis. How are you going to make biscuits on the grill? How are you going to make hash browns on the grill? How are you going to make French fries on the grill? Huh? You think about side dishes, huh?
How are you going to make that on a stove?
All that stuff. You can make all that on a stove. That's where you make all that stuff.
Couldn't you just put the pan over the grill and it's the same thing as a stove? It's kind of a smart idea. I didn't think of that. Oh, 2 in 1.
Did you? What was that?
Oh.
Don't do that again. Remember, South Carolina is in UConn's bracket? Yes. Yes. If you close the grill, it becomes an oven. Yeah, but it gets all...
It's all smoky, probably.
I just don't know. I don't know. Well, what do you do for dessert?
You don't eat it. Or
you just don't
put
eat
some ice cream in a cooler.
Ice cream in a cooler?
Yeah. A little ice.
You can make all your sides on the grill, too. Deep fry the biscuits. You can't deep fry anything on a grill. How are you going to deep fry something on a grill? Oh, I guess you could have...
in the pan.
You could have an outside deep fryer. You could... Again, you don't know about this stuff.
We deep fry turkeys every year.
No, I'm going to take you into Mississippi for a second. Okay? Here's what you do. Here's what you do on Truman Creek Road on a Saturday night in 1989, okay? Your uncle and your dad get real drunk and go down to the creek and emerge. I don't know how they got them with a bunch of catfish, all right? Then through cussing and spitting and cleaning, you have a bunch of catfish to cook. So everybody gets around and goes to your uncle's house on Truman Creek Road, and they take this contraption, this propane contraption with a fryer on top that looks like it could kill every one of you at any minute. And they all put a bunch of fire to it and sit around and stare at it and get it up to 980,000 degrees Celsius. Drop the fish in it. 2 minutes, you've got the best fish you've ever had in your life. Now, that takes about 4.5 hours as everybody gets drunk and cusses each other and gets mad, and the kids get dirty and they step on snakes and get bit by mosquitoes and stuff like that. But by 9 o'clock, you're all fat, happy, and ready to go home. Did that about cover it, Mississippi? Did I nail a Saturday night fish fry with your family? If you go oven, then you have to go to the store every day just to keep the food fresh. I don't really... Yeah, you do. You do. You fix a Dutch oven cobbler for dessert. A Dutch oven cobbler. That almost sounds perverted. That almost sounds like something you would experiment with in college. D. Curtis says, I miss those days. Jessica Elm Bosley says, yep. Yeti cooler for perishables. If you pay $300 for a cooler, that's on you. I just don't understand that. Thanks for the trip down memory lane. No problem, buddy. No problem. That's what I'm here for. People don't listen to, he's just talking about Mississippi State sports. No, I'm talking about life. That's what I'm talking about up in here. Those were the greatest days, says Mac McBrayer. They were good. They were good. See, now I'm 38. I'm supposed to be the guy who's sitting by that propane rocket ship that's about to launch and doing nuclear fried chicken and fish. But
we do that every Thanksgiving. It's nice.
The Terps get together?
Yeah, the Terps fry some turkey.
Karen Morgan DeWeese says, hey, Brandon. Hey. Hey, Karen. Dutch oven cobbler sounds like a nasty prank, says Adrian D. Brown. All right. I think we solved most of the world's problems today, and I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you showing up. But I've never been hungrier in my life than I am right now. Most underrated player on the men's team, go. Ryan McMichael. It is most underrated player is easily, not even close, Eric Holman. Not even close. Eric Holman at times is our best player. And he doesn't get a lot of love. Doesn't get a lot of love at all. He's the most underrated player. All right. Now, I was ending the show before he got me distracted with basketball. Until next time, my name is Brandon Walker. We'll be back. Look, the way I'm sitting looks like I have helmets for arms. Or looks like I have helmets for hands. I look like a Bond villain or something with helmets for hands. Why am I? Oh, no, my hands. Okay. Got distracted. My name is Brandon Walker. You've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.